Following a decision by the minority caucus in Parliament not to approve the newly appointed ministers by President Nana Akufo-Addo, the majority in Parliament has appealed to the group to rescind its decision and support the nominees.
I just want our colleagues to understand that for the sake of the unity and the desire for us to forge a working relationship, and this is their major decision, major in terms of the fact that, okay, since they come into leadership, this is the first time, more or less, they are going to make such a significant decision that they should so-called temper justice with mercy. That is not the right expression to use in this context, because I don't see the relevance of this. But I'm just saying that they should just let go, support the nominees, let's pass them. Primarily, all these nominees, the Honorable Brian, the Honorable K.T. Hammond, Honorable Obi Amwa, the Honorable Stephen Amwa, they are all our colleagues. They are all our colleagues. And in this House, we have this convention that if one of our own is nominated and privileged to be nominated, we rally around one another to get them endorsed, especially in the case that there is no criminal committer of any crime. It will not be injurious if they so decide to support the decision. I'm just appealing to them, for them to remember that today will be a very significant day in our body politics. That once upon a time, nomination from the presidency came, and all they said ab initio was that a no, without even listening to them.
Meanwhile, the minority in Parliament is asking the Deputy Majority Leader, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, to apologize to them for describing their decision as politically immature.
He was so wrong in that context. More importantly, there has been instances where the party has directed the parliamentary caucus of the MPP. For example, when President Mahama won the election, there was a directive that they did not recognize the government of President Mahama and that they were in court. So they should boycott participation in the appointments. And in fact, they did. Do we describe them as the reason because they did that, they did not have thinking caps on? I think we should let Honorable Afenyo-Markin understand that we believe that we are in serious times of crisis, and this house, this people's house, is a house of serious business. It's not a house of insults, and we are not going to descend in that garbage with him. If he's going to be serious in engagement, he should. If he goes on this path, we will not deal with him as a leader.
On Tuesday, the Appointments Committee of Parliament continued with the vetting of the ministers. Appearing before the committee was the Minister of State designate for the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, Osei Bonso Amwa, who was questioned on the size of government by the minority leader, Kessel Atu-Forson.
At a time, how many deputy ministers were at the Ministry of Local Government, and the minister were at the Ministry of Local
Honorable
Government?
Ranking and Minority Leader, we've gone over this. I said at the time, a minister and 2 deputies. And you said that because sanitation was part of it, you think that's what should be. I can't agree with you.
I'm asking you this question because you said the Ministry of Local Government is a large ministry. Yes, I agree it's a large ministry. But it was bigger prior to 2017 when sanitation was part of it.
And, okay.
And yet,
Chairman has given me the cue that I should not be arguing too much.
And yet, the government at the time managed with 1 minister and 2 deputies.
I'm careful not to then talk about how well it was managed, how efficient it was managed. It will lead us to another argument. But your point is that you had a deputy and a minister and 2 deputies, and you had sanitation attached to it, so it was bigger. I don't want us to extend this. Otherwise, I'll also tell you what has been added to our ministry.
The Deputy Minister Designate for the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Dr. Stephen Amwa, also appeared before the committee and spoke on matters relating to Maslock.
Every organization has its cultural and policies in terms of practices. We have different types of loans, and they are within the legal confines or environment of Maslock. First, the one that actually fits this picture, Mr. Chairman, is the group loan. Maslock was set up in the year 2006. To be honest with you, this thing has been going on throughout every regime up to now. The fact is that the group loan, we give each group constitutes about 25 applicants or beneficiaries. And sometimes you do a market that you get a number beyond 1,000. So the banks take the money, they get a very big size. If they can access a big hall, which is about 10 times we have here, they do the public one with the bankers there. They actually dish out the money, and the leaders of the group sign.
Is it the case that Maslock engaged it to procure a number of vehicles without going through the appropriate procurement procedures?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think this issue came out years back in this country, and it was proven that what my brother is saying was not so. I think I have to draw curtains on this issue here because of the nature of exercise that we are all going through. In the first place, the said company never imported for Maslock. That is never true. What happened was they approached Maslock when I was the CEO to bring vehicles, not for Maslock to pay, but they wanted to use Maslock as a medium so that Maslock, even as at that time, government had not even released money. We had not even imported any car. So we actually started engaging them. Then I spoke to the PPA boss, and then he said that he thought it wise, there wasn't anything bad with it, but he thinks it's not good to allow a private company to procure and use Maslock as a platform. Mr. Speaker, we just cancelled the processes that we had started. We never ever had any imported cars by Dextro. And I think the papers are there. I mean, they can check.